Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, my voice has changed. All right, guys, we're gonna try to get as much as we can. Okay, all right. Don't mind my voice. Welcome, guys, and welcome to Brilliant Babes. I'm your host, Vale Chikuni. Okay, so I have some couple videos for you guys that I want to share with you. I'll let them play, then we'll add in our commentary, and I'll be out of here. Okay, so not a marathon. Okay, not a marathon tonight. So let's start with this. Well, I could not even believe I watched a whole bunch of these videos. Apparently, there's this movement. A lot of women are leaving their husband, and then, sooner or later, they're actually regretting it, but it's quite like too late. So almost like, okay, they feel like if they leave their husband, they're going to find something else out there. So it's quite interesting. So I have no idea who these women are, but the videos are out there and they're actually going viral. Okay, so we're gonna go through a few of them. Add in your comments. We're gonna feature them tonight. Okay. So without further ado, let's take a look at this lady here. Okay, so she actually says that she divorced a perfect husband. Okay, so I'm like, okay, why would you divorce a perfect husband? Does that make any sense? But anyway, this is this is the world that we live in, guys. All right, watch this. So here
the
we
realization
go.
that like if you're 40 years old, you're never gonna find love. Like, oh my god, sorry, I woke up like really, really emotional because I was married for, oh my god, just stop. I was married for over 20 years, and like I was so used to being a wife. Like I loved being married, like I love being a wife. I love having like that one person I love coming home to and like venting all my to. And now it's like, yeah, you date people and like sparks fly, and then it's just like, oh, I found better.
She believed a new beginning would automatically bring more happiness. So she walked away from a long-term relationship in search of something different. At first, the excitement felt real, but when the novelty faded, she discovered that lasting commitment is very different from temporary attention. Looking back, she realized that what she once took for granted was far more valuable than she had imagined. Sometimes the biggest lesson comes only after the choice has already been made.
Was talking to my ex again, and there was a TikTok. There was I had a fan on here, a TikTok follower that messaged me, and she said, hey, I started talking to this guy, and I noticed on his Instagram, like those highlight reels, you were in one of his highlight reels, like you guys made a TikTok together. And I was like, oh yeah, that's my boyfriend, because we were like trying to work things out. It was long distance, whatever. And she's like, oh, well, we're talking. He said he was single. And I'm like, I'm not even crying about that. I think I'm just more sad about the fact that like it's impossible. It's impossible to find someone that you will 100% trust. And part of it has to do with me too, because of my insecurities. But honestly, 99% of the time, it's because they're cheating, because it's so accessible. Social media, talking to other women. Why do I still have my seatbelt on?
Nobody expected this comeback. Instead of staying stuck after the breakup, he rebuilt himself from the ground up and refused to let the past define him. By the time she looked back, he had already moved on, built a better life, and closed a chapter she thought would always stay open. Sometimes the biggest glow up isn't getting revenge. It's becoming someone who no longer needs it.
So I know everybody's heard all these crazy dating stories, and I haven't been on a date since I was with the last guy. And I'm like seriously considering never dating again. I see all these horror stories. It's the guys that, like me are not the kind of guys I like. Just so much to it. And especially being in my 50s and not being skinny, it just is such a challenge that I don't even know if I want to bother anymore. I just don't know if I should just grow old by myself. I'm already old, but older. Sorry about my hair. But I don't know. I mean, what is your opinion on this dating situation? I don't find anybody that's really been happy or successful.
She's still focused on finding her exact type. But successful relationships often require balancing preferences with realistic expectations. As life changes, qualities like loyalty, compatibility, kindness, and shared values tend to matter far more than chasing an ideal image. Sometimes the strongest relationships begin when people stop searching for perfection and start appreciating genuine connection.
I'm a single mother, and a lot of people write to me on here in the comments or even in the wild, and they will say that women, especially of my age, are still single because we have unreasonably high standards. And I don't think it's unreasonable, but I do think and know that our standards are quite high because we've been through enough to know what we want and what we don't want. However, speaking for myself and probably a lot of other people out there, maybe men and women, I'm done trying. I don't want to try.
She's searching for someone who checks every box, but relationships rarely work that way. High standards are understandable, yet lasting partnerships usually depend on mutual compatibility, shared values, and realistic expectations from both people. The more rigid the checklist becomes, the harder it can be to recognize a genuine connection when it appears.
Hi. Had a first date this week with a guy who, same age as me. So we go out and we're sitting there. Everything seems to be going well. And then he proceeds to tell me that.
So, as you can see, all these women from different walks of life, okay, different ages, but there is some some things that are very similar, okay? So they were in stable relationships, they were married before, but they're looking for something different than that what they actually had. So now when they go in so-called these dating streets, they are not even finding the Mr. Perfect they're actually looking for, okay? So it is so sad that even the other lady, now she's gone back to the husband after, married for 20 years. Now she's a side chick. Can you imagine? How are you going to lose your husband of 20 years? He found somebody else, and then now you're becoming a side chick. I thought that was that's a way too low. I was just like, you know what? Just keep moving because you left your husband for no reason at all. So she's not the only one, okay? So I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? It's something like a trend that's actually going on. So then there was this one right here, okay? Same thing. What she did. Her story is quite a little bit interesting. Okay, let's take a look at this. All right, here we go, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Looks like they must have been all from TikTok or something.
Every day of my life. I will miss him. Lucky for me, we have kids together. You can be the good guy and win, but you have to appreciate and value the woman that you're with. You can't just be the good guy. You can't just be the man that pays the mortgage, the man that takes care of his kids, and the man that's loyal. That's all great. But do you love your wife? Do you date your wife? Do you prioritize your wife? Do you leave her love notes? Do you cook dinner sometimes? Or is she just the woman at home?
Welcome back, family. The woman who recently went viral for divorcing the good guy has finally responded to all the critics and pushback the internet has given her concerning her declaration stating it is okay to leave the good guy. And as usual, you won't be disappointed by the delusion and contradictions this woman is going to display in today's video. To refresh your memory, let's first watch her insane viral video of her telling us how it is okay to leave the good guy.
So I thought I'd talk for just a minute about this divorce that I'm going through, because I'm sure just like I found some relatable advice through here, other people might relate to me. So I was married for 10 years. I got married young. I was 21, barely was 21. Already had a baby. He was 8 weeks old at our wedding. And I remember feeling like my marriage was temporary from the beginning. Like that I wasn't gonna make it. And I didn't know what that feeling was. I just thought it was cold feet, but it kind of manifested itself for the next 10 years. And here we are 10 years later going through a divorce.
So you see, even how from the beginning, right? She got married at 21. I'm not against people getting married young. In fact, I think it's good to get married young, okay? 21, as a woman, that's not, people might think young. I don't think so. Be that as it may, right? She got married. And from the get-go, she had this idea that she wasn't going to make it. So already you're going into this union with a husband without you trusting that, you want to be a good wife, you want to be a good mother, all those are things that come with it, right? But she already went in like, okay, she wasn't going to make it. So to me, the question would be that, okay, so if that was what you were thinking, did you even try to be a good wife to your husband? Why did you feel like you're not going to make it? And if that's how you felt it, why did you say yes to get married to the guy? They got married, I think they have a child also, and for 10 years. And this is what she's saying. So let's continue.
So he didn't really start this process. I guess it was more so me, because I was always looking for someone else because I didn't know how to be loved or how to accept love from somebody. And so while he was fighting for me, I was pushing him away. But I never truly accepted happiness. I left the good guy. I left the guy that everybody looks at and is like, that's a dad, that's a husband, that's how it's supposed to be. He did the dishes, he cleaned the house, he took the kids to school, he worked all day, he made good money, he supported us. Yeah, we had our problems, but he was the good guy. So I'm here to tell you, it's okay to leave the good guy. Don't stay because he's the good guy.
What a horrible advice. Why would you leave a good guy? Of course you have to stay because the guy is a good guy. This is so wrong and this is so bad. And this is what we have in our culture. So she had a husband, provided, took care of her, took care of the kids, and helped her with house shows and everything else. And then she decided to leave him because she was always looking. You're looking for what? You're looking for who? So it's very unfortunate that these people, I don't know, they've watched way too many movies and then they're thinking they're going to live a lifestyle like the way it is in the movies. I have no clue. I have no idea. Why would you leave a good husband? If you leave a good husband, then what is it that you want? What are you looking for? What else is out there? So I'm like, okay, so is this the idea? Because there are other women who like to have like a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? You're looking for a gangster or something. Is that what you're looking for? Because if you're saying that you don't want a good guy, you're living a good guy, what is the opposite of a good guy? It's a bad guy. Because you cannot tell me you're going to leave a good guy to go to a good guy. That doesn't make any sense, right? So you're looking for something that is the opposite of the good guy. So why would you be looking for a bad boy? Why would you be looking for somebody who's just going to give you trouble all day, every day? So it's unfortunate that these women are actually leaving good husbands and divorcing them for no reason at all, simply because they want to go out there and they, I don't know, think the grass is greener outside, taste the water, something like that. They are tired of being married, so they want to go back to their life when they were single. And when they go out there, they found out that there's nothing there. If anything, every single one of them is regretting divorcing their husbands to begin with. And then according to her, the husband was fighting for her, but she wasn't interested. This is where we're at right now. Ducky, good to see you. Welcome. Thank you for being here. All right, guys, let's continue. I'm telling you, man, there's more. Here we go, guys.
Leave because he's not the guy for you. Leave because you have to be happy. Because if you don't feel in love, then who cares if he's the good guy? And that is a harsh reality that I'm facing right now, and a lot of scrutiny from a lot of people. But
yeah, because the stuff that you're saying doesn't make any sense, okay? So there's this idea people are divorcing because they are not happy. So they are in search of happiness, okay? Happiness is temporary. Happiness is just a feeling, okay? It can change. So you will not always be happy. That is not how life works. It doesn't matter even if you leave this husband, right? Whatever guy she's going to find, she will not be in a perpetual state of happiness. That's just not how life is. If a guy is providing for you, is taking care of everything else, that means the guy loves you. Why would a guy who doesn't love you do all those things? And plus, he's actually a good guy. Just like, oh, man, I don't know. Whatever these people are looking for, you can't make this stuff up.
it's okay to leave the good guy. I hope that helps you, because nobody has looked me dead in the eye and said it's okay to leave the good guy.
Because it's not.
There you go. Hope that helps someone.
Remember, she said that her ex-husband was doing everything right. He was a good dad, a good husband, he did the dishes, he cleaned the house, he supported her, he even brought the kids to school. She herself said all of that from her own mouth. Now, let's watch her first response to a comment that triggered her, and you guys will see how she is going to contradict herself.
I've tried to make this video 3 times now, and I guess I just can't find the words to say. So I'm gonna make it really short, but this is one of, 20 or 30 comments that are mostly from men on my post that are straight offended that I left a good man. Let's be clear. You can be the good guy and win, but you have to appreciate and value the woman that you're with. You can't just be the good guy. You can't just be the man that pays the mortgage, the man that takes care of his kids, and the man that's loyal. That's all great. But do you love your wife? Do you date your wife? Do you prioritize your wife?
So if a guy was doing all those things, right, which means he does care for the wife. So in terms of her wanting, let's just say that's what she wanted, right? Why can't you just talk to your husband like, honey, I want us to be going out for dates more? That can be resolved. That is not a reason for you to divorce your husband. You can actually, you know what, let's make some time, do X, Y, Z, let's spend time, just you and me. You cannot tell me if you can have that discussion with your husband, that's not going to happen. It will absolutely happen. That is not a reason for you to leave your husband. Oh, man, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Do you leave her love notes? Do you cook dinner sometimes? Do you make her feel that when she goes to work that she is appreciated? Or is she just the woman at home.
You guys know that I don't like to stop clips halfway, but I had to do it on this one because of the level of contradiction in this woman's story. Listen to what she is saying now and compare it to what she said about the kind of person her ex-husband was.
I left the good guy. I left the guy that everybody looks at and is like, that's a dad. That's a husband. That's how it's supposed to be. He did the dishes. He cleaned the house. He took the kids to school. He worked all day. He made good money. He supported us.
She is literally contradicting herself. She is describing the kind of person she claims that she wouldn't leave. When you let women talk for long enough, they always tell on themselves. Let's continue watching the clip.
This is a pretty presumptuous comment because I chose not to bash him on my last post, and instead I took accountability. I took accountability, but I still left. He will find somebody who appreciates him if he can learn to appreciate somebody else. And I'm in the same boat as that. I'll find that person when I'm ready to do the same. So just because I took some accountability doesn't mean that this isn't equal faults. So let's get that straight. But thanks for reminding me.
No, you did not take accountability for your reckless actions. Yes, he will find someone who will appreciate him if he hasn't already. You said it yourself, that he was really supportive of you. That is a form of showing appreciation. You, on the other hand, was not even 100% committed to the marriage from the beginning. Guys, this woman was so triggered by the comments on her video that she tried to redefine the meaning of what the good guy means. Now, I am warning you about this next clip where she will be trying to redefine the good guy to fit her own narrative. I know that the coping mechanism this woman is going to display here will be making the blood of most of you boil. But bear with me here. This is the BS we have to be familiar with so that we can know who to avoid. Let's watch.
So I think it's important to put an explanation or explain at least like what a good guy is, because I think we're missing the key point of how this entire series at this point started. So my intro video was it's okay to leave the good guy. So what is a good guy? The good guy is what everyone else gets to see. The good husband is what we get to see. That's what the partner sees, or the good wife in some of your situations. The good guy from the outside is the guy that goes to work every day and makes a good, honest living. That's the guy that takes care of his kids and seems present, or is present. That's the guy that seems to have all of his ducks in a row. His morals are good, his values are good, his friends are good people. From the outside looking in, everybody says that guy must be good to her because all of those things on the outside line up to be that. You see this stable, consistent guy that gets along with everybody, and everybody just thinks he must be good. Okay, so that's the good guy. What is a good husband? What is a good partner? Let's make it general. What is a good partner? That's somebody that has your back all the time, right? Like somebody that is gonna stand behind you to their families, to their friends, to everybody. You're their person, so they've got your back, okay? That's somebody that can be intimate with you, and it means something. You feel connected, you feel close, you feel loved during intimate moments. That is going out of your way for your partner, even when it sort of inconveniences you. It's something that you want to do because it's something that they need from you, okay? It is an emotional connection. It is, do you want them to feel better? Do you know how to talk to them when they are sad or upset or overjoyed? I think those are just a couple of things that make a good partner, that make a good husband or a good wife. But nobody is going to know if that person is a good husband or a good wife unless you're married to them. So
yeah, except that you have already shared that you had a good husband. And you explained all the good things that your husband were doing inside the house. It's besides the point what other people think from the outside, right? Anybody can look whatever they want to look. That is besides the point. What is the relationship that you have with your husband? You as a wife and a man as a husband. You see? So according to her, she actually said the guy provided, took care of the kids, help around the house, and the only thing that she was complaining, leave me some love notes. So if that's what you wanted, why didn't you just say that to your husband, like, honey, I'll once in a while, can you leave some notes for me? I'll appreciate it. I don't think that guy would have any problem doing that. So all she needed to do was to communicate those things to her husband, and they would have been fine. There was no reason for her to divorce her husband. So to me, I just don't get it. It's just like, okay, all right, fine. Let's just say you're already, I can't even get it, okay? So the stuff that she's saying can actually be resolved by just communicating. That's it. And this foolish woman let go of a good husband.
He's a good guy. Was he a good husband? Only I can answer that. I would say what I won't do is I won't bash him. I'm extremely thankful for the 12 years that we spent together, and I think we learned a lot. I will miss him every day of my life. I will miss him as a human being. Lucky for me, we have kids together. So hopefully we can be friends. And right now we're doing a great job at that. But we both knew that we aren't meant to be together. And will I regret that? Maybe. I don't know. I don't regret it right now. And I don't think he does either. So I think that's important to bring to the table. So many of you think that you know the whole story and you're saying, well, the good guys can't win and you're going to regret this and he deserves somebody better. I might, and he does, and he is a good guy, but just because you're a good guy doesn't make you a good husband. So don't get that twisted. You still have to put in the effort with the woman at home or with the man at home to make it work. You can't just be a good person and automatically think that you're going to be a good spouse, because that's not how that works. Being a good person usually doesn't take that much effort. Being a good spouse takes effort, and it has to be effort that you're willing to put in. And some of you said, well, were you willing to put it in? Probably not. Probably not, because it's hard to be good to somebody when you don't feel like they're being good to you. And then it's who makes the sacrifice first. And I don't know if either one of us did that. So there's my accountability for the day. You're right. It was partially my fault. 100%. I will take 50% of that 100% that it was my fault. So
I don't know if these women have amnesia or they just choose to speak and
useless. And this is her. She said it herself. She left a good man and she's never going to forget him, right, for the rest of her life. So if the guy was horrible and everything else, so this is so sad to me, okay? This is so sad to me. The issues that she's actually explaining, that has got no bearing on her marriage. It was just a matter of her communicating, like, honey, once in a while, it'll please me if you leave me some love notes. That's it. I don't think that's a hard thing to tell your husband. They were married for 10 years. They've known each other for quite some time. They have a kid together. So now she is willing to leave her child and to be raised what? With a single mom, with a single dad, with a different mother, for no reason at all. She had no reason to leave her husband. And then she's out here making these videos for what? And then she said that she doesn't care. No, you definitely care. That's why you're out here making these videos. So when I saw that, I'm like, man, you know how many people would love to have your husband, a good man like that, and then you're out here just, walking away from a marriage for no reason at all. What a shame. She said, yeah, it's okay to leave a good guy. Why would you leave a good guy? Oh, man, Kida, come on out here. You see what this girl is telling us out here? Oh, man, you can't make this stuff up. Oh, good to see you, Ryra. Good to see you. Yes, exactly. All she had to do is that. So she literally left the husband because the husband was not writing some love notes to her. And the guy was doing everything else. Oh, man. She was a stay-at-home mom. The guy was out there bringing bread, the whole 9 yards. Helped with the kids, dropped the kids to school. Help with house chores. Can you imagine? Just like, woman. Oh, man. Yeah, so she is going to regret that. Yes, for her, it's just like feeling. She wants to be happy. Is she happy right now? I bet you know she's not happy. That's why she has all this time here to be doing TikTok videos, right? Like instead of you enjoying your husband and your kid. So, guys, this was, to me, I was just like, man, this is so sad. Young, beautiful lady, this is so sad. All right, guys, we're going to switch, there's a whole bunch, different ladies from different walks of life, okay? So I have another one. We'll get back to her. Let's go to our featured story, the one that I had today. Okay, so I don't know this couple's name. I know one of them is what you call Egypt. She's the real estate agent. This lady, I think she's an actress. So they had an interesting discussion. So let's dive into it. We're going to go to the Bible and see if what they're saying matches the scriptures, okay? So let's listen in. Here we go, guys. Let me know if it's too fast.
What you just did just now with Mike, there are too many sisters who don't do this with their man. We're going to kill ourselves for you to get what you want. I die a slow death whenever I hear women say that they can't submit. And the reason why I say that is because two reasons. Number one, you already tell me what kind of woman you are spiritually when you tell me that you can't submit to your man. First of all, you chose him. So that's not a him problem. That's a you problem because you chose him.
But wait, are we submitting to each other? Am I submitting to him?
Hold on. I'm going to give it to you right now. Watch this. No. We're submitting to each other. We're submitting to the mission. Because now watch this. If you tell me that you can't submit to me when all I do all day, every day is submit to you, let me ask you a question, Mike. Who sets the thermostat in your house?
Okay, I'm going to rewind it. So you see the interaction that happened here, okay? There's a reason why I'm rewinding it. Okay, right here. All right. Pay attention.
So that's not a him problem. That's a you problem because you chose him.
But wait, are we submitting to each other? Am I submitting to him?
Hold on. I'm going to give it to you right now. Watch this. No. We're submitting to.
So did you see Egypt got triggered? Okay, when she just had the word submitting to the husband. Okay, so this is a very, it's still a trigger word, to be quite honest. Okay, in our culture and everything else, when people hear like, oh, submit, like, what are you talking about? Okay, they don't want to hear the word. They don't want to hear the word at all. And then her first thing went to, and we're not submitting to each other. Okay, so let's hear what this guy, the answer is going to give it to us. Okay, then we're gonna go to the Bible. Okay, because we don't have to worry about who said what, but the Bible has spoken.
Each other. We're submitting to the mission. Because now watch this. If you tell me that you can't submit to me when all I do all day, every day is submit to you, let me ask you a question, Mike. Who sets the thermostat in your house?
I do.
Okay. Who is the one who makes the primary decisions about comfort in the house?
I do.
You do that? Okay, so who is the person that normally, under normal circumstances, are you more worried about her comfort or is she more worried about your comfort?
It goes both ways.
Okay. Would you say that you're more worried about, would you say that you're more worried about her being comfortable?
Definitely.
Of course. Of course. Wait. I'm helping all of this. What I'm saying to you is that we submit to the comfort of our wives all day, every day.
And
that's the way it's supposed to be.
It is, but it acknowledges something.
You should, so now it should be a dance.
So let me say this. I stand in agreement. There's not been one thing said here thus far that I disagree with, except for the fact that I believe that many people frown, like right when you said the word submission. We had some people like, well, hell.
Of course.
But many people frown because they're afraid of the word submission, as if it means that I should diminish myself, be less of myself.
That's not what submit means.
In order for you to accept me as a woman.
Okay,
hold on. In order for me to rest in my softness, that means that I have to submit and hand power over. I just want to emphasize that that's not what it means. I think that we struggle early on in our relationship with my interpretation because no one taught me is that that is what it meant. But when you lead with love,
that's right.
And you really say, what matters more than being right is that we stay together and we believe in what we're building here. Right. I can submit, he can submit, we both submit to the relationship.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because we submit to God.
And I'd like to say, because just in case y'all...
So, that's not what the Bible teaches, okay? That is not what the Bible teaches. This is the problem with feminism that has entered in the culture, okay? Submission goes one way. Wives, submit to your husbands. That's what the Bible teaches. It's not the other way, okay? It's one direction. You have a husband, you have a wife. The same thing when you read, right? It says, children, obey your parents. It doesn't say, parents, obey your children. The same way when you read, slaves, obey your masters, right? It doesn't say, masters, obey your slaves. It's going one direction, and that's how God has designed it, okay? This is how God has designed male headship, okay? The so-called patriarchy. People don't want to hear that word. We're going to get canceled out here, okay? The word patriarchy and submission, thou shalt not say those words, okay? So now, we'll come back to them, okay? Let's go to the scriptures first, okay? So, there is always this issue here when it comes to submission, okay? It's actually a good word, and it's actually a good thing. So, if we go to, hold on, let me share. I'm not sharing the screen with you guys. All right, there you go, right? Okay. So, 1 Peter, okay, I want you to see something, right? In 1 Peter 2, okay? So, you have over here, be subject for the Lord's sake to every human institution, right? Whether be to the emperor as supreme or governors sent by God, right? So, this is in the society, okay? As citizen, you are going to honor, the emperor, right? You're going to submit to the authority, okay? This is how God has designed things. So that's how you have in society, okay? There's one president at a time, okay? So then when you go to in 18, what is it saying? Servants, be subject to your masters with all respect, not only to the good and gentle, but also to the unjust. For this is a gracious thing. So now you have employer and employee relationship. People have no problem. This is how it works at your job, okay? You know your boss is the boss. You might not like the boss, but they give the orders and you execute and you follow, okay? That's how it works. It's always an issue when it comes to a home, where women will be like, no, I don't want to submit to the husband. You have no problem submitting to your supervisor at work. You have no problem submitting to your boss at work. Why do you have an issue when it comes to the home? Why? So you see, in 18 over here, it says servants subject to your masters, employer and employee. Okay? So now you go to 1 Peter 3. Okay? So remember, there were no chapters, whatever. This was just one, right? What do you have over here? It says, likewise, wives, be subject to your own husband. Likewise, what? So the same thing that Peter is giving you, this is how you submit to the authority. This is how you submit to your bosses. And then here you have, likewise, wives, be subject to your own husbands. So that even if some do not obey the word, they may be won without the word by the conduct of their own wives. So this submission over here, in fact, the Bible is so crystal clear. So people will be like, oh, no, I'm going to submit when he start treating me like this, like that. No, it's not condition. It's not tit for tat. You're not submitting because he's done X, Y, Z. You are just submitting because that's what you're called to do. Okay? So the same way children, right, are commanded to obey the parents. There's no clauses to it like, oh, if they pay your tuition, oh, if they buy you clothes, oh, if they do X, Y, Z. No, it's not there. You just honor your parents. You obey your parents. That's what it says. Whatever they do or don't do, leave it to God. Okay? So in the same way over here, like Peter is actually saying, so the objection will be like, oh, but my husband is not a believer. It doesn't matter. You submit to your husband. Oh, but my husband does this. It doesn't matter. You submit to your husband. Why? Because that's what God says. And that settles it. Okay? So those guys went on. We're going to go over here, right? Now we go to Ephesians. And then they'll be like, oh, it says over here, now, we submit to one to another. No, that's not what the Bible says. Okay? So Ephesians 5:22, what it says, wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord. You see? So whatever you're doing that as unto the Lord. It's not about him being, good, this, that, and the third. No. You are doing it because of the Lord. That's why you submit. You're doing it because God has commanded you to do that. That's why you do it. It's nothing to do with the guy in any way, shape, or form. That's what the Bible teaches. So these people have found a way to squeeze in feminism into this issue. Like, oh no, we submit to one into another. No, there's one herd, and that's a husband. He sets the directions, and women follow. It works out, praise the Lord. If it doesn't work out, praise the Lord. You have done your job by submitting. When a woman is not submitting, they are in sin. A man is not obligated to submit to the wife, so they are not in sin. But when a woman doesn't do it, they are absolutely in sin. You see? Yeah. So, if your husband wants to, get your input, run something by you, whatever, there is nothing wrong with that. But at the core, at the foundation of it, wives submit to their husbands. That's it. That's what the Bible teaches. So people always go back. Okay, so even if we go, is it 4? It must be Ephesians 4. Okay, so here what you have. Okay, I can't even see. I should have brought my glasses on. Let all bitterness therefore having force to something. It says it's over here, but let not Christ assuming. Now, it says submit one to another. Over here, I know it's somewhere in verse 4, right? But therefore, a prisoner walk in the manner, eager, maintain the spirit. Okay, yeah, right here, right? So, in Ephesians 4, right? Listen to what I say. I, therefore, prisoner of the Lord, urge you to walk in the manner worthy of the calling to which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one spirit, just as you were called to the one hope that belongs to your call. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. but grace was given. I think it comes down over here, where it says submit one to another. Okay, but this is in the context in the church. Okay, so people, like how it is, like in your church, right? You have brothers and sisters in your church. You are worshiping together, okay? So you are going the same direction in the church when you're worshiping, okay? So you're singing hymns, praising God and everything else. So, somebody comes to you saying, like, hey, you're tripping over here, okay, as your brother and your sister, right? Yeah, you're going to submit to that issue, like, oh, okay, I see. You are correct over there, right? So I'm going to abandon this position. I'm going to go this, right? As brothers and sisters. Those are the things that are actually happening in the context of the church, okay? But when it comes to the context of the home, where you have a husband and a wife, wives submit to their husband. That's what the Bible teaches. And all this goes all the way back to what? To Genesis, okay? We're not going to go over there. That's why when God came on the scene, he wasn't asking Eve, where are you? It was just, Adam, where are you? Why? Adam was in charge, okay? And the Bible says, Adam, if the woman was deceived, Adam is the one who disobeyed, right? Because he actually dropped the ball. Because he was submitting to his wife in contradiction of what the Bible teaches. So Adam sinned by submitting to his wife. And then he ended up eating the fruit. And then here we are after Genesis 3. You see how God takes the male headship seriously. What he has designed the things to go seriously. Because Eve did not do what she was supposed to do, and Adam did not do what he was supposed to do, sin entered into this world. Through one man, sin entered into this world. You see? So, but this idea of like, oh, we're going to do it our way. No, it doesn't work that way. So it doesn't matter. Any household that does not operate according to what God says, whether that household believes in God or it doesn't, there will always be consequences no matter what. Why? Because God is no more. God hasn't changed. There's nowhere in the scripture where it just says, oh no, these things have changed. No. Okay? Men and women are equal in worth and in value. Okay? In terms of salvation, we are all equal, but men and women are different. And that's how God has designed things. So when these men out here started, this guy started walking back what he said, that was just like, the feminist thing over there coming out. And all those ladies, they actually had good husbands, but they decided to leave the so-called good husband. Why else did they do that? Because they are looking for something. They're looking for something they're never going to find to begin with, right? They've been lied to by, this feminism that is all over in our culture. Like, you know what? You can be fine by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Leave your husband, enjoy your whole phase and everything, do this, that, and the third, and look how lonely they are. You see? Yeah. So, yes, guys. So, all right. Welcome, guys. So, let's continue, see how they're going to wiggle their way out of this issue, okay? All right, here we go, guys. Welcome.
Edit this, and people go, "Did you see her go like this?" And because they will see that. Be like, "Did you see her eyes?" Like that. Early on in our relationship, we both had to learn what that word meant.
Yes.
And what being a man and a husband in a relationship really.
Oh, so okay. So I don't know if you Oh, then I can't see. All right. So here's the. Oh, hold on. All right, I see your here. So I think it should be mutual submission to each other. Okay. So this is exactly what I was explaining in the video, right? Like in the video, like somewhere else. Oh, sorry, guys. I said this is what I was explaining, like in the video. No. So this is the thing that most people miss, okay? It actually sounds good when you say, oh, I think, I think about the mutual submission. No. The Bible does not teach mutual submission when it comes to husband and wife. It's just not there. Literally, it's just not there. It sounds good when you say mutual submission, okay? It does. The only way you have in terms of mutual submission, these are the things like the example that I gave, right? Like, oh, this person is tripping, right? I'm saying, but this is what the Bible teaches. So you are going to submit to that because that's exactly what the Bible teaches, okay? So that's where you have mutual submission. But when it comes to the household, the man is in charge. A woman submits to the husband. That's how it works. That's the hierarchy. In the same way you have in a society. Like, just give an example, like at your workplace, right? Especially when you don't like your boss. He tells you to do something, guess what? You are going to do it. Why are you doing it? Because he's in charge. You see what I'm saying? That's why you're doing it. You might not like it, but you're going to do it. So now when it comes to the home, right? A woman is a helper to the husband. The husband is the leader of the house. So I can give an example. So let's just say, okay, the husband makes a decision. You know what? We're going to move. I want us to move from this neighborhood to XYZ neighborhood. Okay? And you don't want to move. Okay? You can tell him, you know what? I don't want to move. But because the husband wants to move, then the move is going to take place. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, because that's what he wants. He sets the agenda of the household and we submit to that. The only way you're going to have is, and it's not a sin, by the way, right? So if the husband is saying like, oh, I want you to go and rob a bank, you're not going to do that because that is sin. You see what I'm saying? So you don't submit to anything that is sin. It doesn't matter who it is. If your boss is telling you the same thing, it is sin, you're not required to submit to that. You see? But whatever your husband is saying is in the house, as long as it's not a sin, you are obligated to submit to that. Whereas your husband is not obligated to submit to you. You see? But people don't see this, okay? But you, because you are a helper to your husband, you're going to give your husband wisdom. But this is a very thin line. Most people do it. It's not necessarily that you're giving me wisdom, but you want things to go your way. But, we can have that topic another day. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you might disagree with a decision that's made, right? But because you are under your husband's authority, you are going to follow that. You see? And you want to do it submitting as unto the Lord, willingly, joyfully, with a smile on your face. Yes. Yes, I know. But this is the tricky part, right? This is why naturally, because we're sinful, especially women, right? It's not going to come natural to any woman just to submit. It just doesn't work that way. You see what I'm saying? Because in your mind, we are Eve's daughters, right? We want to be the one in charge. We want to be the one in control. So we want to do things our own way. So if you look, that's why you can tell in a household if a woman is in charge of the household. You don't even have to live in that household. You can see just by how they interact and everything else, you are going to tell, like, you know what? I know who is in charge in this house. It's that woman. How? Why are you able to see that? You see what I'm saying? Because you can see it. And then this is what happens. Men, they become passive because women have what? Have taken over. Eventually, women are going to get tired because God has not wired women to lead. When women are leading, they become so too dominant. It's not feminine, and it's just a put off. So you see, this is very prevalent to most women who are lesbians. Okay, if you look at their demeanor, if you look at their character, right, they exude masculine energy, so to speak, right? That's not how women are supposed to be. So men are not attracted to that. So anytime a man is masculated and everything else said, eventually a woman gets tired because women don't respond well to a man who's just passive, you see? But every man, because God has made men to lead, every man is capable of leading. Either he's going to lead poorly or he's going to lead well. And if you're in a situation where he's not leading, you as a woman, you just take a back seat. And if things are going to hell in the handbasket, let them go to hell in the handbasket. You stay in your lane because you are responsible for your lane. He's responsible for leading. If things are going not going well for leading, God is not going to hold you accountable. That's his business. You see what I'm saying? But if you leave your domain and go to his, you are going to be responsible. That's exactly what happened to Adam and Eve. You see? That's why when God came and said, Adam, where are you? Because Adam was in charge, you see? But Adam led his wife over there busy with the serpent, and she gave the fruit, and Adam ate, okay? So, in fact, let's just go there right now. Because people do not connect that this thing is actually connected to the fall. You see, this thing is actually connected to the phone. Look, like in your life, right? You know women who are kind of like so dominant. Look at them and look at their husbands. Look at their life. You're going to see that something is just sort of like out of order. It's just there. It's just there. But because, we do a lot of men, effeminate men in our culture, and a lot of women, this so-called, matriarchy has taken over. The things are not good. I'll even give an example. Even if you look in households where, husbands are not there for one reason or the other, the woman is there, they become so controlling. And if they have a son, see what they do with their sons, even when they are older. You see, like, especially this NFL or whatever, or like NBA, you look at the women, they have their son, right? Their son, like, the women are just there, you see? And then these men cannot go out there and do anything for themselves. What? They always want to come back, get approval from mommy. Oh, should I do this? Should I do that? No. You know what I mean? Like, you leave your father and mother, you cleave to your wife. You are a man, make your own household. And, flourish, do those things. Yeah. So there's so many things, like if you stop and think and you catch your culture, you're actually going to see these other things. That's not how God has designed things to be. It's very unfortunate. What else, this thing? There I don't see more ways to get the wrong one. Oh, yeah, that one, right? Yes. Happy Saturday. Keep great connect. Yes. Had done just over. Yes. So, and then, so this is also another thing, Kita, right? They are actually women who want to stay in their domain, be women and stuff, but the men are so lazy. And then women be like, man, what am I going to do with this? You see what I'm saying? So it even makes women so dejected, so much so like they don't even think a man is going to do anything. That's why just like, you know what? I might as well do it all by myself. You know what I'm saying? Because with or without you, I'm already doing all these things. Then what is the point for me to have a man? So yes, there is a case for that for sure. Yeah, I'm not denying that. But those are the things that have happened throughout the culture because feminism has taken over, to be quite honest, right? Ever since you have, women, they can do it all, right? Women, they want to be on the front lines. They want to do everything that men can do. No, you cannot have it all. You cannot do everything that men do. It's just not possible. You see, it's just not possible. But now, because I've made it okay, like, look, I met this lady, says, oh, I have to leave. I'm just here for 2 weeks. She was in the military, going where? She was going to South Korea. I say, like, to me, I was just like, that's just not right. You see, you have a 2-week-old baby, and you're gonna leave because she has to fulfill mission, stuff like that. I was just like, that's just not normal. You know what I mean? And she was even kind of like sad and everything else, but she had to go. You see what I mean? I'm like, that's not, this is not good. But these are the things that, hey, you can do it. Oh, women independent, stuff like that. Like, no, it's just not, that's not how things should work, right? Yeah. But those are the things that actually do happen. Those are the things here under your partner. You want to be by their side, equal submission for both in relationship. Okay, so this is what that I was explaining. No, like, in fact, if you're in a situation whereby, if you've never tried it, you give it a try, you're actually going to look back and be like, you know what? What took me so long just to have done this the right way? It's so freeing, and you in fact, you don't even want that. You're missing out on the things that you can be enjoying, the stress, all those other things. No. Let them handle it, okay? You enjoy yourself as a woman, okay? You enjoy yourself as a woman. But these are the things that can only happen if you are submitting to the word of God, right? It has to come over time, okay? I've been married to my husband 17 years this year, okay? When I first got married, I didn't even know, like, what? Submit to what? Like, oh, no. That, women, we are independent. You see what I'm saying? Because those are the things I grew up on. I'm like, oh, yeah, women empowerment, this, that, and the third. So I know, because I've been there and done that, because those are the things I'm like, duh, who is going to tell Violet what to do? You see what I'm saying? But that's just what it was. But like when you're reading the scriptures, just like, no, this is what the Bible teaches. You either going to submit to what the Bible teaches or you're going to do what your culture has told you to do and see where you end up. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. I wasted 4 years of my marriage because I was just like, no, I'm going to do it Violet's way, right? It never worked. It doesn't work and it will never work. And it never worked for me. If anything, I just wasted 4 years of my marriage from trying to be in charge, you see? So once I let that go, I was just like, I should have done this to begin with, you see? Yeah. But it sounds so good. Like, oh, no. What does the Bible teach? Does the Bible teach how women should conduct themselves? Yes. How men should conduct themselves? Yes. So you do what the Bible calls you to do as a woman. Let the husband do what they are called to do as a husband, right? It actually says, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church. Parents, fathers, do not provoke your children. You see? So there is right there, you know what I mean? There is a relationship that God has already put in the scriptures, how the do's and the don'ts. But those are the things, like, yeah. So, man, we were all of, okay, Super Chad. Remember Queen Vashti, I think that's her name. Oh, the king made a decree throughout the land because she didn't come down. Queen Vashti, with the pagan. She lost her queenhood. Oh, yes, Queen Vashti was just like, no, I'm not going to go out there and then dance whatever. Yeah, but I think, that just like that, she lost her queen. So apparently, what the king wanted, Artaxerxes, right? So the historian says that she just didn't want her just to dance. Okay, she wanted, the dance was more like a provocative dance. You know what I'm saying? Like those seductress dances. That's what the king wanted, for the queen to come and give that seductress dance, so he could show off the queen to his subjects and everything else. The queen was like, sorry, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? But then in those days, it's just like, you know what? Whatever the king says, you do it. You don't, it's your head on the blood. And then, yes, and the Queen Vashti lost that. So, and then, so you see how even just the providence, so in the book of Esther, right, God is not even mentioned, but you can see things happened. Okay, you disobeyed the king. Now Esther comes in, becomes the queen, and people are saved and everything. Yeah. So, that is a history there. All right, guys, let's go. Oh, yeah, Queen Vashti. Oh, good dad, you had to go there now. Oh, man. All right, guys, let's hear some more. Welcome. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Here we go, guys.
Meant and what that meant for me as a woman, and what maybe, because you're saying that both of you didn't have your fathers in your lives, what you thought manhood was going to be, and what being a husband was supposed to be, and what a wife was supposed to be, and how she was supposed to act. You had to learn that maybe some of those preconceptions were wrong. Right. And learn what that meant for you, and how, and that's where we struggled in the beginning. And I had to have some of those lessons too, so that we could both find a way to come together and be a team. Yeah, so I just want to clarify.
It sounds like what we're doing is saying, let's get rid of ego.
Because I know every single friend of mine is like, Sally, so I just wanted, because of what people.
So you see over here. So the thing is, right, the Bible calls women to submit to your husband, not someone else's husband, okay? Your submission is to your husband in your home. That's what the Bible teaches, not someone else's husband, okay? So the interesting thing here is, according to what they're saying, both of these men didn't have fathers in their homes, okay? So I gather they must have, they were raised by women, okay? So now they got married, so they found themselves where, for whatever they've decided to do in their home, that's what they're doing. I'm not judging them for that, okay? They found a way to, she called it work as a team, okay? There's nothing wrong with that, working as a team, right? It's important to do that. However, there's got to be a clear distinction. Who is the leader of this household? The man is the leader of this household. And it's not just in name only, right? It's in function. He functions as the head of a household, not just lip service. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I just wanted to say that.
Well, think of that. And so just so when the internet sees
all right, we get it. Submit does, and I keep using that word because, again, you used an important word, perception. Mm-hmm. Your perception of what that word means is the problem.
Mm-hmm. What my perception of what
yours in general. Right. Yeah, right. So submit does not mean to give up. It means to give over. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that.
And the problem with most people and that word, particularly now, is that they don't understand that it's the highest form of teamwork. Mm-hmm. It means that listen, contrary to you guys, I submit to my wife all day. She sets everything in the house. Mm-hmm. The thermostat, the sleeping arrangement.
All lies will be exposed. That's all.
You see the point that I was making? So these people, the word submit is actually a good word. Words mean something, okay? Words mean something. So clearly, it's not about perception. It's nothing to do with perception. Does the word have a meaning? Yes, it has a meaning. That's it. If you choose to use that word with something else, then it loses its meaning. So this guy is out here, all day, every day, he submits to his wife and everything else. Okay, that's what you're doing. Okay, so thank you for telling us. So who is in charge? Who is in charge? So your wife is in charge. So you are submitting to your wife. You are doing it the other way around. That's not what the Bible teaches. Later, that's not what the Bible teaches. So this is a problem right here, okay? So I'll say this again. Because you are your husband's helper, right? You must be the number one person that your husband trusts. So if he wants to make a decision, he can make a decision with or without you. There's nothing wrong with that. But if he wants to get counsel, if he wants you know what, sweetheart, I was thinking about this, okay? You can put your input. There's nothing wrong with that. So, it's up to him. He wants to be you know what, I'll take my wife's advice. Great. If he doesn't take your advice, there's nothing wrong with that either, okay? So, for example, let's just say, your husband decides to make a decision, right? And then he'll be you know what, I'm thinking about this. You can bring in your input, okay? Then he'll be okay, you know what, I'll think about it. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Let him think about it. And if he has to make the decision, he's going to make that final decision. And if, let's just say, you give him a counsel, right? I think we should do B. And his plan is to do A. So he ends up doing A, but things end up going to hell in a handbasket with A. As a woman, do not gloat. Okay? Do not gloat. Okay? He decided to do A, you support A, things didn't work out, that's fine. It's not time for you to celebrate. Hey, I told you so. I was right. You should have done XYZ. That's not what you do. You leave it alone, okay? Oh, things didn't go well, whatever. Okay, so things need to be cleaned up, whatever the case may be. You just do that. You just move on. Guess what? Next time, he's going to remember. Last time I spoke to my wife, she said B. I went for A. Things did not go well, okay? Let me run by her as well. You see what I'm saying? Those are the things you do. So if whatever he decides to do ends up not working, don't gloat over. Things happen. You just move on. That's it. You give him the best advice that you can give that's going to benefit him, that's going to benefit your household. That's actually good. That's what you do. You are your husband's helper. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You want your husband to shine. Just like in Proverbs, right? Remember Proverbs 31? It says the man was known at the gate. The man was not at the gates. Why? Because of the wife. Okay? So at the gate, he must have been a judge or something, because this is where you bring everything else was happening at the gates, right? So this is where the guy was. But he was well known at the gate. Why? Because of the wife. You see, that woman, she knew how to take care of her home. She wasn't lazy. She took care of her house workers. She ran businesses and everything. You see what I'm saying? So she wasn't a foolish woman. She was a wise woman, you see? And look at Abigail. What happened to Abigail, right? Things went to West Side. Abigail, Nabal and David, she did not waste time, because she has meant David is coming over here. He's going to wipe all of us out, okay? Didn't even waste time to tell neighbor what you have done. Just went over there, clean up things, okay, on behalf of her husband. Shout out to Abigail. You see what I'm saying? Went to clean up the mess that neighbor had created, because neighbor was too drunk to notice that. But that's what she did. You see what I'm saying? Being wise. As a wise woman. That's what she did, right? And what happened to Nabal? Died, and then the next minute, Abigail, what? Became Queen Abigail, married to King David. You see? Wisdom. That's what we're calling for women to be. We're not saying that women should be, you're not going to be a fool. You're not going to be whatever. You are going to be a wise woman. That's what you're chasing. That's what you are doing. You see? And if you're doing these things, that you live with your husband, he sees. Okay? Their husbands, I know they don't say certain things to their wife. Why? Because they know their wives have got loose lips. Say, no, if I say this to my wife, everybody is going to know about this issue. You see? Why? Because the wife has got loose lips. So those are the things, right? Your husband is going to know your strength and your weaknesses. So those are the things that you need to work on as far as in the home is concerned. Yeah. All right, guys, let's continue.
What side we sleep on, physical touch, the sex schedule, the food, everything that moves our house, my wife sets.
And are you okay with that?
We're together for 28
You're okay
years.
with that?
Well, I'm a woman of a certain age, so I have to set this thermostat. And it changes a lot.
She'll ask crazy questions. Like, she'll be like, did you change the thermostat? I'm like, that's a crazy question. I would never do that. Why? Because I know you're crazy. Like, I would never touch that, right? So the entire day, I'm submitting to my wife.
Yep.
So I expect her, hello, every single one of you women who got your faces up.
Let's hear this.
I expect her to submit to my provision about specific areas because I submit to her all day. It's a dance.
I think he's angry.
So you see, this is also, can you guys see, this is wrong. So what this guy has set up in his household is a conditional submission. That's not what the Bible teaches when it comes to husband and wife. You see, conditional submission. This is what he's saying. Why? Because my wife does X, Y, Z. Therefore, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. You see what I'm saying? Because, my wife does this, I'm going to do this. So if your wife doesn't do A, what? You're not going to do B because your wife didn't do. You see what I'm saying? So this becomes a problem. That's why I read that scripture. It says, likewise, wives, submit to your husband. Even some do not obey the word of God. You see? So these are the contexts, like even Paul saying should somebody leave their husband because they're not a believer? No. That is not a reason for you to leave your husband because your husband is an unbeliever. You see? So your submission, you're not submitting because he, he bought you some shoes. So therefore I'm going to cook for him because he bought me some shoes. Oh, okay. Oh, did he do this? Okay, he took trash. Okay, fine. He took trash, so I'm going to... No. You are doing the things that you're doing as unto the Lord. You see, you're going to cook, you're going to serve him well, you're going to do those things. You are not doing it for him. You are doing it for the Lord. He is just the beneficiary for those things. Whatever he decides to do in return is none of the business, just like giving, right? So you're not giving because you want that person to give you in return. You see what I'm saying? So no, you freely give, right? Freely you have received and freely you're going to give. Whether those people are going to help you down the line or not, that is besides the point. You're just doing it because it is a rightful thing for you to do. You are submitting because you are obeying what God has commanded you to do. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because it's the same thing when he's telling the husband, love your wife as Christ loved the church. It does not say love your wife when she this, that, and the third. You see, that's why these people, like even when we watch, right, they're chasing for happiness, right? When they're not getting this so-called happiness from their husband, okay, what do? They run to divorce their husband. You see what I'm saying? So they'll be like, I'm not getting this, I'm not getting that. So they're going to leave. And then you get the other ones, right? Like, okay, they just want, because of the things that happen in the bedroom. When those things stop, then what? So is your marriage going to stop? You see what I'm saying? So marriage is more than what happens in the bedroom. That's why you see people have been married 80, 70 years, but they still love each other. You see? So that's the problem that, it's like transaction. You see what I'm saying? Like, no, it's not supposed to be like that. You're doing the things like, your babies, right? Like, they are so little. They can't do anything from themselves. They are crying. But when you get up and do what? You feed them. You have to change them. You are doing all these other things. What exactly are they doing for you in return? At that age, literally nothing. You see what I'm saying? Nothing. But what are you doing? You're doing all those things for them, right? They're not doing anything in return to you. And some of them, they end up going to grow up and curse you out and everything else. But after all those things you've done, yes. So you see, but you're doing that as a duty to your child, right? You're going to do those things. You love them. You're sacrificing for them. So you're doing them. And you're going to do it joyfully. You're raising them up unto the Lord. So when you replace the things that you're doing as if you're doing it for Jesus, it changes everything. Be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to cook. Okay, I'm cooking here on behalf of Jesus. I'm cooking as unto the Lord. It will actually change your attitude. He might be annoying you and everything else. Those issues just going to be secondary. Yeah, it's going to be secondary. Kidad, what are you doing over here? To live on the housetop. Oh, yes, that the Proverbs that the quarrelsome woman. No, we do not want Proverbs 14, right? The contentious woman. No, we do not want that. Yes, exactly. Can you imagine? So who is in charge of this household? Oh, I missed that one. It's just like, no. And then, in fact, even the Bible says, like, do not deprive for one another. You know what I'm saying? Do not deprive for one another. So, like, what are we doing here, man? Come on. So if this lady is scheduling all these other things, right? If she's in charge of all these other things, so what exactly is he leading in? Where is his leadership? Where is this guy's leadership? I don't see it.
It's a dance. No, it's a frustration. It's a frustration about people not really understanding what this relationship thing is supposed to be.
So can I gently throw something out?
Yes, please.
Okay. So we know ego.
Subject.
No, same subject, but just a little different. Just a little different. So we know when we lead with ego, things usually go left, right?
Yes.
And the more we talk to couples like yourselves, and we started this podcast truly to learn, not to think that we were experts in anything. It was to learn and laugh.
Learn and share our own experience.
But it's grown folks conversation, basically. We don't have to hear Bluey in the background. But truly, the more we talk to folks, they had that initial upfront tug of war period, like we had, you had, of, are we going to make this work or are we going to keep fighting to see who wins?
Right.
And the minute they both let go of ego and decided that our love, our survival matters more than who's right.
Absolutely.
Okay, so yes, guys, that was quite interesting, isn't it? Right? So hold on, okay, I have this lady. So that's the thing, right? When they say these things, it actually sounds so good. No, you know what I mean? In fact, let's go. Let's go here. Oh, Sunrose, you changed your profile, girl. I like it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for being. Oh, Chloe had to show up. Sharon, good to see you. Thank you for being here. For a time, and that, yep, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yep. No, that lady has a schedule down. Fact. Good, you picked that one. No. Right now, I'm not playing the video. It was just a short clip. I'll play another video that I'm about to play right now. So yeah, that was quite interesting indeed. Okay, so let's go here real quick. Okay, so Ephesians 5, right? So at the end here, right, it actually says, however, let each one of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. Okay? So the same thing, right? In fact, the Bible calls women to respect their husbands. Okay? Honor and respect your husband. That's what the Bible calls women to do. And then it calls men to love their wives. And then it calls women, Titus 2, right? Other women likewise are to be reverent in behavior, not slanderers or slaves to much wine. They are to teach what is good, and so train the younger women to love their husbands. You see, women are to learn to love their husbands. So when I'm seeing those ladies, they're just like, okay, you know what? They got everything from their husband and they'll be like, they're not happy. Boom, aborted, left, and stuff like that. Yeah. So, but these are the things we just take for granted, thinking like, oh, I got it together. No. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, right here. God is not mocked. God is not mocked. So it was quite interesting, no? Just like, in fact, even in Ephesians, like when he uses the word submission, it's, it's like more of a military term, right? I think it's tupanito. I might be mispronouncing it, but it's more of like a military term, like how you have in military. You see what I'm saying? You get the orders, want to execute he gives the orders, you go out there, you execute the orders, you salute, yes, sir, you go and do the orders. That's it. That's just how it works. You don't come back like, oh, this and said, no, these are the orders, you go out there and execute the orders. It's one direction. You see, it's one direction, down, up, yeah. So I thought that was quite interesting. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Let me see. Do I have? Let's see. Where was the other scripture? I think. Let's take a look at 1 Corinthians 11. Hopefully, I'm correct. Oh, guys, I'm so glad that you guys are here. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 11. Where are we? All right, 1 Corinthians. Okay, man. Okay. Oh, you guys cannot see. Sorry, guys. Okay, right here, right? Now I command you because you remember me in everything and maintain the traditions, even as I deliver them to you. But I want you to understand that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of a wife is her husband, and the head of Christ is God. Every man who prays prophesies with his head covered dishonors his head. So everywhere you see, over here, head covering, you know what I mean? So that was, it's a feminine thing, okay? So a woman, that's why, like, even a man, when they are wearing even women clothes, it's an abomination to God. Why you as a man wearing feminine clothes, right? That's an abomination, right? So the head of a woman is her husband. So there's only one head. Anything with two heads is a monster. That's what my former pastor used to say, right? Yeah. So one head, one direction. That's how things work. We reject any notion of feminism in any way, shape, or form, okay? That's what we reject out here. No. Patriarchy all the way, male headship all the way. Okay? Yes. We were striving to be Proverbs 31 woman out here. So there is another woman over here. I mean, like, I cannot even believe this. I'm like, you women, you are actually living good husbands. For what? Oh, man. Oh, guys. Here's another lady right here who decided to live a good husband. Okay. Okay, live a good husband. All right. Susie Rose, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Should be 50. Oh, no, 50-50. No, there's nothing like 50-50. No, 50-50, that's half and half, right? So both of you are leaders. So anything with two heads is a monster. There's one clear leader, according to the scripture. A man is ahead, women follow. And then you have children. That's it. That's how it is, It does not mean, like what I said, right? Are men more valuable than women? No, not according to scripture, okay? Men and women, they have the same value. They have the same worth. God has called women to certain roles, and God has called men to certain roles. You do what God has called you to do. That's it. That's what we're saying, right? But because of feminism, we try to, quote unquote, like equal the playing field, right? Like, we want women to do this, to do that. Eventually, you see it, guys, You can actually see it. Yeah. Men are always stronger than women, That's how God has designed men to be, right? Women are what? Weaker vessels. In fact, is that what that's, before I go to this one, right? So this is also the other thing. There is this misunderstanding of that we are actually losing something, right? When men are doing all these other things. No, you are actually not losing anything at all, okay? So do not let your dawning. So this is how women like. Yes. So look at this. Okay, we didn't go all the way down here, right? So look at this. 1 Peter 3:7, right? Likewise, husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel, since they are heirs with you of the grace of life, so that your prayers may not be hindered. Do you see what God is saying? He's telling husbands to live with their wives in an understanding way. Women, show honor to women, okay, respect women, okay? They are weaker vessels. And if these husbands are not doing these things, guess what? Their prayers are going to be hindered. So that's why if you have a household, how can you be living in an understanding way with your wife and you're busy abusing your wife? And how can you be abusing your wife and praying? Those prayers do not make it. God doesn't even answer those prayers. Those prayers are already hindered. You see what I'm saying? So can you imagine that women, how God has set up women, wives in this household, that so much so, how the husbands are moving in their homes, in their household, their prayers hinges on that. Do you see how God takes this thing seriously? So that's why you cannot have men who are out here being so abusive, doing all sorts of things. That's not what God calls, that's not what the Bible teaches anyway. He's actually telling them, like, no, live with them in an understanding way. If not, watch out, your prayers are not going to be hindered. You see? So all these things, if anything, it's even harder for men to do these things than it is for a woman to do for the husband. Because you can actually be, you know what? Okay, my role is to submit, no problem, I'm going to do it. So you tell me how he's going to make sure that he's living with you, making sure that if I'm tripping, you are affecting my prayers when I pray to God. You see? Not only that, how is this guy? Okay, 5:28, right? What does it say? In the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. So how do you abuse your own body? Hello? He who loves his wife loves himself, for no one ever hated his own flesh. Exactly. Even the Bible knows that too. But nourishes and cherishes it just as Christ does the church. You see? So the way you are treating yourself, your body, whatever, you're doing the same thing to your wife, because this is what the Bible is telling them. So this is so crazy, guys. Not only that, it's actually husband, love your wife as Christ loved the church, gave himself up for her. It's a sacrificial love. You know, Christ died for the church. He's coming back for the church. That's his bride. He sacrificed himself for his bride. So what is it? So the question is just like, okay, so your husband, how can you be abusing your wife at the same time loving your wife as Christ loved the church? You see what I'm saying? Which is hard. Loving somebody as Christ loved the church or submitting. You see? Yeah. So if you look at the scriptures, just like, no, because when people hear the submitting, they think like, oh, so what are women supposed to be doing? Because the men are just going to be out here, be doing that. No. There's responsibilities for men to be doing, and there's responsibility for women to what? To also be doing. You see? And even when we go to 1 Peter, 1 Timothy, right? So I want you guys to see, like, it's harder for a man than it is for a woman. The things that God has put forward for men to be doing, it's harder for them than for a woman. You see what I'm saying? So they, if anything, they have a more case to complain than a woman does. But it's just a woman who want to complain. No, I want to be like a man. No, you don't. Okay? No, you don't. Look at this. Look at this text right here, right? So even if you go to 1 Timothy 3, what does it say? Okay? He must manage his own household well, with all dignity, keeping his children submissive. For if someone does not know how to manage his own household well, how he care for the God's church? So guess what? If that man wants to be a deacon at the church, wants to be an elder at church, But his household is not in order. He doesn't know how to take care of his wife. He doesn't know how to love his wife. Guess what? He doesn't qualify to be a deacon or to be an elder in the church. So not only does he not qualify to be a deacon and an elder in the church, if he's tripping, his prayers are also not being answered. Do you see? So is that what you want as a woman to be operating as a man? Hello? No, you don't want that. You see? So, but when you stop and look and see all these things that God is commanding men to do, and when you see what God is commanding for you guys to do, for women, you should just be like, you know what? I'll stay in my lane. I'll mind my own business. And we're going to keep it moving. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, you're going to enjoy your marriage. You're going to enjoy your marriage. Whatever issues you're going to come up with, because at the core, at the foundation, you know your responsibilities. He knows his responsibilities. It's not so hard to come back into, I'll use this word, I hate using it, alignment. Don't expect to hear that word from me again. I despise that word because it's abused. It's quite abused. It's quite abused. All right, guys, let's go. There's a script somewhere in the Old Testament that's something like if a woman is in charge, the nation is in trouble, something like that. Isaiah. I think Isaiah 3 or 4. Yeah? Mm-hmm. It's judgment. When a woman is in charge, it's judgment. When you have women and children ruling over you, God is judging you. You are under God's judgment. It's Isaiah. It is Isaiah. Yes, Isaiah 4:3. I think it's Isaiah 4. Isaiah 4:3. Let's go to 3. I think it's Isaiah. Isaiah. For behold, the Lord of hosts, the captain of the counselor, and they will make boys, princes, and infants. Yeah? Isaiah 3. Yes. And I'll make boys their princes, and infants shall rule over them. And the people will oppress one another. Everyone is Pharaoh, and everyone is neighbor. The youth will be insolent to the elder and despised to the owner. For a man will take a brother. Yes, it's Isaiah 3. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's Isaiah 3. That whole chapter. It's a judgment chapter for sure. Mm-hmm. No, we already did this lady. I have the other one. Let's go to the other lady. Another foolish woman who decided to leave her husband. Oh, all right. Did we do the comments? Let's see. Okay. Ducky, thank you. Yes, guys, like this live stream, y'all. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, okay? Colossians saying, a husband, don't be bitter towards. Yep, exactly. Do not be bitter towards your wife. Yeah, because they're fellow heirs. Mm-hmm. Yep, it's Isaiah. Yep. Yes, I know. Thank you for being here. Husband, don't be bitter towards your wife. Yep, Colossians 3:19. Yes. So all these things, right, to be quite honest, naturally, who wants that? You see what I'm saying? But God, that's why you being a Christian, you being a godly woman is counterculture. You see? Because it's literally the opposite. The culture wants you to be in charge. The Bible wants you to submit. You see? The culture wants you to be, telling you you can have it all. The culture says, no, take care of your home. Manage your home. Your home is your priority. You see? Yeah. So those are the things that we cannot forego, you see? So if we are women who are ruled by what the Bible teaches, then we submit to what the Bible teaches. Does the Bible teach about these things? Yes. Then what are we doing about it? Right? Yeah. Are we going to miss some steps? Yes. You miss some step, get up, repent, and move on. Right? Some of these things you're just not going to change in a day. But do it one day at a time. And before you know it, because this is how God has wired you to be, it's just going to come natural for you. You see what I mean? Like, you look at the daycare. Who is watching over kids at the daycare? It's women. If you're taking your child to a daycare, are you taking a child to a daycare full of men? Of course not. Why? You see what I'm saying? Inherently, you just know. No, I need to take my kids to a daycare with ladies, right? Where you have women. That's just how it works, right? When you're taking your car for fixing, are you going to a garage with women in a garage or men? Why? You see? Yeah. So naturally, we know where women belong and where men belong. That's what we do. Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's actually a good scripture that you brought up, Kitad. Okay, so yes, Colossians right here. So I mean, so many scriptures you cannot even exhaust, right? Wives, once again, this is even in Colossians. Wives, submit to your own husband as fitting in the Lord. Husbands, love your wife and do not be harsh with them. Children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord. Fathers, do not provoke your children, lest they become discouraged. Bond servants, obey in everything those who are your earthly masters, not by way of eye service, so it's not just lip service, as people pleasers, but with sincerity of heart, fearing the Lord. Whatever you do, work hardly as for the Lord, not for men. You see what I'm saying? You see right here. So when you're doing, it's not for him. You're doing for the Lord. As for the Lord and not for the men. Knowing that from the Lord you receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ. For the wrongdoer will be paid back for the wrong he has done. And there is no partiality. You see? So this is always, what if he's not doing it? Just go to Colossians 3. Thank you, Kitad. That's perfect scripture. Because this actually explains everything. Husband and wife, children and parents, bosses and employees. And if your conclusion is like, he's doing everything wrong, it says no. The wrongdoer will be paid back for the wrong he has done. And there is no partiality. You see, people can escape this judgment. There will be a day of judgment. They're never going to escape it. So whatever they're doing, guess what? God sees. Does God see? Does he know? Can he see that he's being abused? Can he see that whatever? God has no partiality. For the wrongdoer, he's going to get it. He will actually get it. Yeah. So if you just have that picture and just practicing it, you are going to see, because this is the word of God, because the word of God is true, you start practicing it, you're going to see the results, and you're actually going to look at yourself and be like, what took me so long? Why didn't I just do this from the beginning? And you're going to look and say, you know what? That's how the word says that God is not mocked. Yeah. So that is absolutely my encouragement to you, ladies. You are looking at me, okay? I was once been there and done that, okay? Yeah, I was like that. But no, but God. You see, yeah. You can even create a song in your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is for the Lord. I'm doing this for the Lord. You saw? Every bone in my fiber in me, I want to give you my peace right now. But, for the sake of the Lord, I will let it go. That's it. And over time, those things that used to bother you anymore, they're never going to bother you at all. Okay? Yeah. You can actually have a fight because somebody didn't take the trash out. Eventually, you're going to be like, you feel foolish, like, why did I lose my day simply because somebody didn't take the trash out? No, I'm not going to lose my day because somebody didn't take the trash out. It's not worth it. You see? It's just trash. It's just trash. All right, guys. You guys are simply the best. I don't know. Where are we on time, guys? Let's go to this one. Kitad, you are the one who is holding up the line right now. All right, guys. Let's listen to this lady, okay? Another foolish woman, okay? Because this is what the Bible calls them, right? Foolish women. That's what the Bible calls them. All right, let's go.
My ex-husband he really was a good guy. He still is a good guy. And I don't even know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm looking for as far as it's just very different. I've lived life a certain way for a long time.
Welcome back, family. Men sacrifice their happiness for their family, but women sacrifice their family for their happiness. And we will see it today by giving you an update on this woman who divorced a very good man because she wasn't happy.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually true. Like, what a foolish thing to do, to sacrifice your family for happiness. No, do not. What is it that's not making you unhappy? The other lady, because the guy, she wanted some love notes, honestly, the guy is providing everything, literally. Some people cannot be helped.
Yesterday, I posted a video about how I divorced my husband after being with him for 21 years. We were married for 8 years, and how he was the good guy. And it's getting quite a bit of attention. I expected that it would. I hate when people get on here and they're like, I didn't expect that to go viral. Now, it is getting way more attention than I expected it to get, but I knew it was the point of creating this account, if I'm being honest. I started my day yesterday with 79 followers, and I think I'm at like 2,600 as I'm creating this here. So let's just talk for a second, because I haven't been able to go through all the comments. But the resounding question is, what do I define as a good guy? And I'm gonna be very honest with you. Some of the stuff that I'm reading, a lot of women going through the same situation, okay? But what you all are describing and my definition of a good guy is not the same thing, some of you. But my husband was a good guy, like he really was. I didn't divorce him because of anything other than I was not happy. I told him for years that he would be an excellent partner for someone, just not me. I just did not feel like we were a good fit for each other. And it was really hard to let go because we'd been together for so long. And yes, one of the things I mentioned in that video was that he never told me that he loved me. And that was one of the things that I had accepted that eventually I grew to resent him for. That wasn't the reason why I left him. But it was, I've called mine and his relationship death by 1,000 cuts, because that's essentially what happened. And I plan to go into detail, but my definition of the good guy is not that he was a
Guys, I cannot even understand. This is so foreign to me, to be quite honest. At the bare minimum, I'm like, okay, so this guy is a good guy. He's taking care of you. Everything is good to go. The only thing is he just doesn't use the words to tell you that I love you. And that made you unhappy and you left the guy. Well, how about just telling him, honey, you know what? I would prefer, it'll please me if you tell me that you love me every now and then. Why can't you just tell him that? Why can't you just tell him that? The fact that this guy is doing these things, you see what I'm saying? Some people might not do that. Okay, so like, culturally where I come from, people just don't tell you that they love you. That's not the culture that I grew up in. It does not mean that people don't love you. Okay, it's just over here. I do get it. The American culture, Western culture. Every time you tell people, "Oh, I love you," and stuff like that, which is fine. So culturally, some people they just don't use the word. They're taking care of everything they're supposed to do, right? It's just like in their actions, it shows that they love you, minus them just saying the word. Which one would you prefer? Somebody telling you the words, no action, or somebody giving you all the actions without the words? And if that's all you needed, the words, why not just communicate that to him? Or you just start saying it to him. Because usually when you tell somebody, I love you, guess what? They're going to respond, I love you too. You just do that. And who knows? They've been together, known each other for 21 years. So literally, you're just going to throw that away? Because I can't believe it.
Good guy to everybody else, and he was not a good guy to me. He was a good guy, and I take full responsibility for my part in why the relationship was the way that it was. I left because I wasn't happy. I had checked out of that relationship long before I even knew that I was unhappy. And, I had a lot of people in my life, specifically my mother, who encouraged that I wait until my daughter graduated high school. Everybody had all these opinions, but nobody was in that marriage but me. I felt it was only fair that I left the minute that I realized I was unhappy. I created this account to help other women. I'm getting a lot of messages, and I'll get to the point where I'm able to really dedicate the time and attention to some of these specific questions. But my ex-husband he really was a good guy. He still is a good guy. He's just not the guy for me.
I want you to remember when she said that her ex-husband didn't tell her that he loved her. And I will expose the truth behind this whole situation. Women never tell the whole story once they know that they are at fault. But before diving deep into this interesting update, let's play the video she is referencing again to refresh your memories.
I made the extremely tough decision to leave my husband last year after being with him for 21 years. We were married for 8 years. And my ex-husband is not a bad guy, wonderful father. But there were some things that would send people into orbit when I would tell them things. Like, number one, and I'm not exaggerating, my ex-husband did not tell me that he loved me. That sends people into outer space when I tell them that. That was something that I accepted, we'll call it accepted, but now I see it as settling. I had accepted this about him, but what ended up happening is years and years and years of what I will consider emotional neglect, unintentionally. I began to resent him. And there's a few videos that I want to make of things that I've learned, especially with us coming up on 1 year divorced, and what I learned about divorcing the good guy, and what a villain that makes you, how hard it is on your kids. I just want this to reach someone going through the same thing or thinking about divorcing the good guy. And if you have questions, If you have concerns that you have for yourself or your kids, drop it in the comments. I'd love for somebody to ask me something because I feel like my story can help somebody. We're going to start.
Now, before I show you the update on how this woman's life has become even more miserable since she divorced her ex-husband, let's first expose the issue of her ex-husband not telling her he loves her. Also, keep in mind that she keeps on reminding us that her ex-husband is a really good guy and there is a reason for that. This next clip will expose what really happened in this marriage over the years. Let's watch.
A couple days ago, I posted a video about how I divorced the good guy after being married for 8 years, but we were together for 21 years. And that's gotten quite the attention, 2 million views at this point. I have made some follow-up videos saying that I would eventually tell my story the way I want to tell it on my own terms, because that's what I came here for. I've been very apprehensive because the comment section is gnarly. And I know that the reason why I left is not the same story as a lot of people, and it is very selfish. The reason why I left was very selfish. And I'm ready for all the hate that's going to come, because I know.
Guys, are you hearing what I'm hearing? So she is admitting she left for selfish reasons and she left a good guy. And they have kids together. So where are you going, woman? You're leaving a good guy. You're leaving the husband of your, the father of your children for selfish reasons. And he's actually a nice guy. Like, what are we doing here? These women, why are you okay just leaving your children like that? Like, marriage is a lifelong commitment. There's women out there who'd love to have a husband like yours. They don't, but you do. And you're just going to discard your husband? Like, what are we doing? Like, marriage is not a playground. Why are you getting married if this is what you want? Then don't get married. So it looks like there's a movement over here, like almost like a movement, women leaving their good husband. Because there's a lot of these videos that I'm seeing. I'm like, this is so wrong, what we have in our society. So what are you looking for? You're leaving a good man. What are you looking for? What do you want? Man.
From that comment section and from my inbox that there are so many women who are afraid to say the same thing. Let's start here. People fail to realize a man can be a good guy, a great father, but a horrible husband. The reason why I decided to pick this comment is because it's the #1 liked comment. That means a lot of people resonate with that. A lot of you are married to a good guy on the outside, but not a good guy on the inside. That was not the case. Nobody will be able to convince me on any video and any comment that my ex-husband is a bad guy. I share one tidbit of information that I considered emotional neglect and that I was settling, but I accepted about him was that he couldn't tell me that he loved me. And that was not an exaggeration. A question that I get a lot is, did you tell him you loved him? I did, but I stopped doing that after a while. My ex-husband and I met when I was 16. We had our first child when I was 19. A lot transpired over that time. In the beginning, yes, he could tell me that he loved me. So much to unpack there, and I will go more into, what happened over the years, if that will help someone. But people are wondering, why did I leave? Why did I leave? I left because I wanted to. I left because I didn't want to be married anymore. I left because I didn't enjoy marriage. There were a lot of things wrong in that relationship, and I think that we had grown apart. I never felt like I could be myself. If you go through my videos, you will see a transformation happen, and that transformation did not happen until I divorced my husband. I've never felt more like myself than I have in my entire life. I now know what love feels like. All the things that my husband did to show me that he loved me, I can do for myself. And that might be selfish. And I knew I was going to break my children's heart. And we have a lot to unpack here. But I left because I wanted to. Because essentially I was in a relationship with somebody that I really didn't even like. And I felt like he didn't like me. He was attached. 21 years is a long time. We had a lot of appearances to upkeep. There was no abuse happening. There was years and years of emotional neglect on his part and mine. We resented each other. I did him a favor.
So why didn't you go for counseling? You see? The stuff that she's saying could have easily been resolved. Okay? They were 16, they were young. Life changes. You're going through, different seasons in your life. The stuff that you used to do at 16 is not the stuff you're doing in your 20s or in your 30s, right? Time changes, things change. So you just go for counseling and be like, okay, what about this? What about that? I don't like this. I don't like that. You know what I mean? Then it's give and take. What needs to change is going to change. You are married to somebody for the rest of your life. It's a lifelong commitment. You living for selfish reasons, for no reason, leaving your kids. Divorce affects families. Divorce affects children. People think they can just walk away with everything is just fine. No, those children are going to be affected for the rest of their life. That's what divorce does. And then especially with this lady, No reason at all. No reason at all. Just boom. She just woke up one day, be like, you know what? I'm done. And do you think these people, when they leave, they're going somewhere else? No, they're still out there chasing, find boyfriends or something else. They want to go back to the life they used to have in high school. That's what they're doing. Because, quote unquote, this is the happiest that she has been. What is it that you're doing now that you couldn't do while you were married? What transformation has taken place now that you couldn't do that transformation in your home? You neglected your responsibility as a wife, your responsibility to your husband. Then what did you expect? The things that you didn't like, present those things, because this is what you can do. You know what, honey? I want you to write a list. The things that you wish to see me doing moving forward, and the things that you see me doing that you don't like. You see, I'm also going to write mine. So now you're communicating with him. I like when you do this. I don't like when you do this. Okay? Let's see how you can change. Let's see, how can I help you, this, that, and the third. Then you exchange those ideas. And most of the time you find out, most of the time it's even not a big deal. Okay? You find out most of the time it's not a big deal. Be like, okay, so what? Okay, you don't like this? Okay, no problem. That's it. You adjust, then you move on. She's acting like she was, and then the sad part about it, it was actually a good guy. And she's actually testifying that to herself. So clearly, if this was a good guy, you presenting to him the things that you wanted, I don't think you would have had any problem adjusting or switching. So I don't know.
Let's start here.
She clearly said that in the beginning, he told her he loved her. Now let me explain to you what's happening here in Womanese. This guy and this girl met when they were 16. It was all lovey-dovey until they had a kid. But then she cheated on him, and after that, it was betrayal after betrayal. But her ex-husband chose to forgive her because they already had a child together. And this man endured all 21 years because we all know that once a woman cheats on you, she will keep on doing it for the rest of your life. She will never truly respect you, and her ex-husband knew that. But he lived with it because he chose to sacrifice his happiness to maintain his family structure. That is the real reason he stopped telling her that he loved her. And she accepted that because she knew that she was the source of this betrayal. But at the end of the day, she decided to leave because she wasn't happy. And that's...
So now you see, so obviously, so there must be a video where she shared that. So she's the one, so she cheated. The husband chose to stay with her. And then she's the one who had the audacity to leave the husband. But the guy forgave you and stayed with you. And you are the one who, clear, she's the one who is selfish in this relationship. She just exposed herself. This is not, yes. It's stories like this. She divorced her husband because yes. Exactly. Yeah, these people, they're acting like, it's just peaches and cream. You are with another sinner, just like you. Okay, so you want your needs to be met. What about his needs? You meet his needs, he's going to meet your needs. Whatever issues you guys talk about those things. Selfish woman. Very selfish.
Singularly destroyed the lives of 2 young children. So, fellas, that is the level of selfishness of modern women. Even after many bitter women tried to convince her that her ex-husband is actually not a good guy, she kept on insisting that he is a good guy because deep down, she knows very well that she is at fault. Just observe in this next clip how she doesn't want to say clearly what she did, because we will all know who she really is.
This was probably the most popular comment on the video that comes from this. Nothing wrong with this comment. It's actually a really good question. I'm wondering why you're calling him a good guy when he was unable to tell you he loved you. I wouldn't call him a good guy when he essentially neglected your emotional needs by never telling you. And if you haven't seen that video, basically I'm starting a series where I talk about divorcing the good guy. And I share one.
So they actually have series, Divorcing a Good Guy. Oh, get behind me, Satan.
Little piece of information that people are having trouble accepting that he's a good guy because he never told me that he loved me. My ex-husband and I were together since I was 16, so 21 years. We were only married for 8 years, and we had 4 kids, and he was essentially the good guy. And he was a good guy. Just because he didn't tell me that he loved me did not make him a bad person. I'll get into that at some point, but he was not abusive. Do I consider a lot of the things that went on in that relationship emotional neglect? Yes, but it was never intentional. I will always label my ex-husband as a good guy. I think he's going to be a wonderful partner for someone else. But I will go into detail later on during this series as to why he and I stayed together so long. and why I left. So stay tuned.
Now let's move on to the update and see what this woman's life looks like nowadays. She really thought that her ex-husband would keep on acting normal even if she divorced him because he is a good guy. When her ex-husband realized that the real reason she divorced him was to go chase after Chad and Tyrone, he also decided to cut all ties. Check it out.
Things that I wish someone had told me about before I got divorced or during my divorce, a series. If you are new here, and a lot of you are because I just started this account and one of my videos has picked up some traction. So since everybody is very interested in the topic of divorcing the good guy, there's so many other things that come with divorce, even if it's not the good guy, even if it's the bad guy. The thing I want to talk about today is co-parenting, or a lack thereof. My ex-husband and I were together for 21 years. We were married for 8 years. I decided to leave last year, filed for divorce very quickly and suddenly. And it has been a whirlwind of a situation. And since about February, my ex-husband has wanted nothing to do with me. Like, quite literally told me he does not want me in his life anymore. But obviously that doesn't work. We have 4 kids. Granted, one of our children is an adult. And then we have an almost 15-year-old. But we do have a 6 and 7-year-old. I know, imagine. The 6-7 that I hear all day long. So in February, my ex-husband, because the divorce was final in December, he decided he did not want anything to do with me anymore. He did not want to. He kept calling it co-parenting, but I realize now the term is actually, I ran across this and I was so thankful that somebody actually told me about this, is what we've been doing since February is something called parallel parenting. And in my personal opinion, it feels much better than to have to pretend like you are... that like you like the other parent. And here's the thing. I chose to leave for no other reason than I was not happy. It wasn't because there was something major that happened, but the leaving itself absolutely devastated him. And once I started seeing someone, he wanted absolutely nothing to do with me. And so we do something now called parallel parenting. And basically what that means is we do not speak unless it is absolutely necessary. And it is very short. We do not interact during drop off or pickup. As a matter of fact, I actually can go months without seeing him in person. I know that's not going to work for everybody, but it's probably best for a situation that's like high conflict. For the longest time, I thought he wasn't co-parenting with me. And now I actually realize that this is just how it's going to be for a while, maybe forever. Is it best for my children? I don't know. I don't know how they feel about it. I know the oldest 2 don't really care. The 2 little ones, one of them has expressed concern as to why we don't talk, but he understands as best he can. So parallel parenting. I wish somebody had told me about that before I got divorced.
Even 2 years after leaving her marriage and putting her young children at a statistical disadvantage, she is still confused about life, and she doesn't even know what to do with herself anymore. The caption in this next video said that she is still a happier woman divorced. But we can clearly see from her body language that she is simply trying to put on a front for social media.
Something I don't hear a lot of people talk about in regards to uprooting your entire life, deciding to file for divorce after being in a relationship for 20 years and, blowing your whole life up, is that there is no precedented amount of time as to when you should feel normal again. Nothing feels normal. It is still so very hard for me to find my way, if that makes sense. When you have been in a long-term relationship or you've been a wife and you've...
So what I don't get, if these videos are out here, she has some teenagers. So those kids are going to see these videos. And you know what I mean? Like in school, people are going to say, that's your mom. You know how it is, you know what I mean? And then your kids are getting bullied in school because you are putting videos online. Like, how is this helpful to your children? She's selfish. She doesn't think about her children. This is all about her. And she thinks these issues doesn't affect her children. Man, I'm so confused. I don't know which one is worse. This one or the first one? I don't know, guys. This idea of divorcing good guy, like a movement.
Had kids and you've, lived with your family unit we were married for 8 years, but we did this on and off for 20 years. You have that normalcy. You have your day-to-day nuances. Everybody has their own schedule. You have a rhythm. You cook dinner at a certain time. Like, I'm almost 2 years out from having my divorce and leaving my ex-husband. And I was just talking to my sister about this the other day. Nothing feels normal.
Of course.
I have yet to find a solid routine that feels good. That doesn't mean that I have any type of regret. It doesn't mean that I don't enjoy my life. It's just I still don't know what normal looks like for me. It's very interesting. I'm sitting here in this house that I moved into. I don't know if I've already said that. I moved into this house. I'm moving out of this house. I've actually moved out already into a different house. But 18 months ago, I moved into this house having no idea what was to come. And if I could give anybody any advice, because I felt like it was I felt like since I was the one that wanted to end the marriage, I should be the one to leave. And so I did. And I remember signing the lease on this place and thinking to myself, what did I do? What have I done? You just have to trust yourself. You just have to trust that everything will work out. But you will absolutely blow up everything that you've known for the last how many ever years or months. You will blow that up. And don't be upset or hurt or sad or confused when 2 years later you still don't have a sense of normalcy. And I don't even know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm looking for as far as like, it's just very different. I've lived life a certain way for a long time. It's not bad. It's just very different. And I don't hear a lot of people talk about that, about how nothing feels the same. You don't leave that life and then automatically go into a different routine that feels good. I don't know what I'm doing from day to day. I also don't have a traditional job. I own my own business. I'm a body piercer. I own a tattoo and piercing studio. So like I also don't have a regular schedule, but I've also been doing that for 13 years. So that is part of my daily life. And still, my home life still just doesn't feel, there's no normalcy.
One thing I will give to this woman is that she stayed consistent in reminding us that she left because of her own selfish reasons. All the sacrifice and the humiliation her ex-husband endured to keep his family together were in vain because she decided that she wasn't happy.
Guys, that's what, yeah, man. And she's not the only one. There was a whole bunch. I was like, what? I'm like, is this AI? Is this real? No. These are real people, real videos who have decided to walk away from their good guys. And she doesn't even know what she's looking for. She doesn't know what she wants. And nothing feels normal. Of course, you left your husband and 4 kids for no reason at all. What do you think was going to happen? What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. That one was for you guys. That one was for you guys. You guys are the best. I don't know. These people do the.
Some of y'all better get y'all discernment together.
I don't even think that works. You know?
All lies will be exposed. That's all.
Yes, these are lies. These are lies that are going to be exposed. That's all. That is all. That is all the lies. All the lies. Sharon, good to see you. I'm so glad you were here. Yeah, this is, bad company corrupts good morals. You see what I'm saying? These people are getting advice, wrong advice, and they are finding out that, no, it doesn't work out, okay? Talk about leopard eating faces. This is exactly what they're experiencing. Yeah. This is what happens when people look like they know what they're talking about and everything else. It's just lies. That's not how life works. I've watched way too many movies. That's what they have done. So, no, guys. So, yes, guys, we have to leave it there. But you guys, Sunrise, it was nice seeing you. Katat, thank you for the super chat, my sister. I appreciate that. Doki. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. Yes, guys. So, yeah, we actually had a very good, interesting topic, didn't we? Right? Especially when I played that video when they're saying, oh, no, submitting to each other and everything else. No, it sounds good like that. But, yeah, just browse a little bit scripture, be like, but that's not what the Bible is saying. That's not what the Bible is saying, right? So we're out here, Berean babes, right? Always, we want to see what does the Bible say about this situation. So that's what we always going to strive to do, right? So you guys, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Stay tuned. Definitely more coming this week. But yeah, you guys, let me know what you think about this whole thing, all these videos that we played. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section, okay? I'll find some more that we can actually take a look at because I could not believe it. I'm like, what is this? Some of them are regretting. I'll be like, oh, now I'm regretting why I left my husband. The other lady left the husband. This one, I could not even believe it. I'll keep it out. We're going to play the next time, right? But I'll just give you a teaser. This girl was telling the husband that her job is she's an influencer. And then she didn't make enough money. And the guy will say, oh, we didn't make enough money, so we're not going to, I don't have money for us to put together a parent. You know what the guy says? They say, no, don't worry about it. I'm just going to pick up extra shift. That's why I have a second job. You're my wife. And the guy just said that so easy. And then this lady, after some time, left this guy. Now she's crying. I was just like, what do you want? What do you want, women? So I sure hope those guys have found good women that can stay with. But, this type of behavior is going to make those guys not even trust other women because they're just going to think this is how women behave because, you left the guy for no reason at all. So it's very unfortunate because the guy will be like, okay, I did everything for my wife and she still left me. So another person comes in the picture, they might think the same thing, or maybe they might never want to even settle down because they're going to think, oh, women are like this, but no. These are women who are very ungrateful, foolish women. There are good women out there who would like to settle down, have a good husband. They are good women. These ones make it so bad for the other women. They are painting a bad picture for other women. So, no, we reject this nonsense, this foolishness out here. So, brothers out there listening, do not think all women are like that, okay? These ones, no, these are foolish women, their behavior. Their foolish behavior, yes. But all in all, you guys, I appreciate you guys, okay? Yes, nothing's never going to be normal, but she'll learn the hard way. Yes, you guys. Thank you so much. All right, guys, that is all that I had for you guys today. I hope you find this to be informative to you. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And hype our videos, guys, okay? Hype our videos. Until next time, remember, theology matters. Thank you. All right, guys. Bye-bye.